Hi, good morning, everyone. Today I am presenting our presentation on penetration testing and vulnerability assessment. Here is our first slide, which is introduction. First is nowadays, like cyber threats are increasing because many organizations use digital systems. This creates more chances for attacks like phishing, ransomware, and denial of attacks and data breaches. That is why vulnerability assessment is important. It helps us find weaknesses before hackers do. So, to improve security, organizations use advanced security these days to scan the systems, identifying risks, and test vulnerabilities in a controlled environment. So, here is our third slide, which is lab setup. So in this slide, I explain our lab setup. We used Kali Linux for the attacker machine because it contains many security testing tools. And the target machine was Metasploit Table 2, which is intentionally vulnerable for practice. Both virtual machines were hosted on an Oracle VirtualBox using a host-only network. And there is our fourth slide, which is identifying a legitimate target. In this step, we identified the target machine for testing, and first we perform a discovery scan using Nmap to detect live host on the network. And after scanning, we confirm Metasploit table 2 as our target with IP address 192.168.56.102. Then we checked connectivity using ping to ensure Kali Linux could reach the target. And finally, we verified that the testing scope was authorized and only the internal systems were scanned. And there is our fifth slide, which is port scanning, Nmap, and NSS. So in this slide, we performed port scanning using Nmap and NSS. And using Nmap full TCP scan, we scanned all the ports to identify open ports and specify versions running on the target machine. And we also tested firewall evasion techniques such as fragmented packets and decos. Then users helped us perform automated vulnerability scanning and generating risk reports. And the scan found several vulnerabilities, including 4 critical, 4 high, and 6 medium severity issues. Thank you.
Hi sir, I'm Afnan. I'll be continuing from my friend Prerna. Next, we performed a full TCP port scan using Nmap to identify open ports and running services. We also demonstrated firewall evasion techniques and used Nessus to perform an automated vulnerability assessment. The scan identified several critical high and medium risk vulnerabilities. The scan revealed multiple open ports including FTP, SSH, Telnet, HTTP, SMB, and MySQL. Some services such as VSFTPD, Samba, and Unreal RCD, we are running vulnerable versions that are known to contain critical flaws. We then researched the discovered vulnerabilities using public CVE databases. We identified 6 major vulnerabilities, including CVE 20112523 for VSFTPD and CVE 20072447 for Samba. These vulnerabilities were prioritized based on their CVSS scores to determine which posed the greatest risk. For our demonstration, we selected the VSFT PD 2.3.4 backdoor vulnerability using the Metasploit framework. We configured the exploit module to target the vulnerable FTP service on the Metasploitable machine. Now my friend Gurmeet will continue. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Gurmeet and I will be covering the rest of the slide. This slide is remediations and security controls. After identifying the vulnerability, we move to the exploitation phase. The vulnerability we selected was CVE 2011-2523, which affects VSFTPD version 2.3.4. The vulnerability contains a hidden backdoor that can be exploited to gain unauthorized access to the target system. For the demonstration, we use the Metasploit framework. First, we loaded the exploit module for the VSFTPD backdoor. Then we configured the target IP address and executed the exploit. The exploit successfully triggered the backdoor, which opened a root shell that can be vulnerability was real and could allow an attacker to gain complete control over the system if left unpatched. Exploitation outcomes. The exploitation was successful and we obtained root level access on the Metasploitable 2 virtual machine. With root privilege, an attacker has complete control over the operating system. They can read or modify sensitive files, change system configuration, install malicious software, or even use the compromised machine to attack other systems on the network. As part of our responsible penetration testing, we also created a remediation script that can be used to harden the vulnerable system and reduce future security risks. This step demonstrates how a single critical vulnerability can lead to a complete system compromise if it is not properly managed. And remediation and security controls. After identifying and exploiting the vulnerability, the next step is implementing security control to prevent similar attacks. The first recommendation is strong authentication, including multi-factor authentication to reduce the risk of unauthorized access. Secondly, network segmentation. It should be used to separate critical systems and limit an attacker's ability to move across the network. Third, organizational system should configure firewalls to block unnecessary ports and minus suspicious traffic. Another important control is regular patch management, ensuring that operating systems and applications are updated as soon as security fixes become available. Finally, organizations should enable continuous logging and monitoring so security teams can quickly detect and respond to suspicious activities. Conclusion. In conclusion, this penetration testing demonstrated how vulnerable systems can be identified, analyzed, and safely exploited in an authorized environment. Our assessment discovered 14 open ports, identified 6 major CVs, and successfully achieved root access through the VSFTPD backdoor vulnerability. The key takeaway is that organizations should perform regular vulnerabilities assessment, apply security patches, loaded ahead technologies such as machine learning, deep learning, NLP, and natural language processing and AI powered security assessment can further strengthen cybersecurity by improving threat detection and automation. Thank you so much. Have a good one.